Hello, dear audience. A shocking twist is about to unfold. After all the storms, it seemed like Alex and Tuna had finally touched happiness. But then, one terrifying night, a raging fire erupted, burning down the entire company, the very dream Alex had built with his youth, his sweat, and his tears. Ashes covered everything. Hope seemed gone. Now, Alex stands at a crossroads between life and death. Does he have the strength to rise again from the ruins, or will he sink into the darkness of despair? At the same time, Tuna, a single mother who has endured so much pain, faces her greatest challenge. Yet, how can she become the anchor for the man she loves? How can she keep their love burning bright while the storm threatens to tear everything apart? Dear viewers, can Alex rise from the ashes? Can Tuna become the light that guides him out of the darkness? And can their love survive this ultimate test? Don't miss it. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to follow every heart-stopping moment in Alex and Tuna's dramatic emotional love story. That evening, Tuna's farm was glowing with a special kind of beauty. Strings of warm yellow lights hung along the trees, casting a gentle shine across the ground. The breeze carried the scent of fresh grass and rich soil, mixed with the steady chorus of insects wrapping the place in both peace and romance. Alex stood next to Tuna, his heart overflowing with happiness. Every moment here felt worth remembering, worth holding on to forever. Henry, the innocent little boy with bright eyes, was nearby. Just watching them filled Alex with indescribable warmth. A perfect evening with his small family, soft light, pure laughter, and a peace that made the whole day's exhaustion fade away. When the night slowly wound down, Alex got into his car to head home. The road was dark, lit only by his headlights stretching across the pavement. With one hand on the wheel and a smile on his face, he let the happy thoughts flow freely. Dreams of raising Henry together with Tuna, of building a lasting home where they could weather every storm, where children's laughter would always echo. The car rolled forward at a steady pace, the engine blending with soft music from the radio, as if leading him into a dream come true. By the time he reached the gate of his house, it was late. The sky shimmered with stars, and a bright full moon hung high, almost as if it was smiling at his quiet joy. Alex walked inside, letting his tired body finally relax after a long day. He climbed upstairs, lay down on the bed, and drifted off quickly. Even in his sleep, images of Henry Tuna and the glowing lights of the farm returned, pulling a smile to his face unconsciously. The next morning, the first rays of sunlight broke through the window, filling the room. Alex opened his eyes, feeling energized after a deep sleep. He went into the bathroom and looked at himself in the mirror. The reflection showed a serious face, but one that also carried quiet joy. He adjusted his outfit carefully, button by button, knotting his tie. Today, he had to go to the sawmill, where important orders were waiting for inspection. For Alex, the mill wasn't just work. It was his passion, the foundation he was building for Tuna and Henry's future. That's why this morning he wanted everything to be perfect. Once he was ready, he stepped into his office. The familiar desk was neatly arranged with files and reports. He sat down, reviewing every line of data about the upcoming shipment. Each detail mattered, as it always did for a leader so committed to his work. Then suddenly, the phone rang, shattering the calm. The sound cut through the silence, making Alex's heart skip. He grabbed the receiver. On the other end, his secretary's voice trembled with panic. "Director, you need to get to the mill right away. It's on fire." For a moment, all sound disappeared. Alex froze, the word fire echoing in his head. His chest tightened. His blood turned cold. But within seconds, instinct took over. He couldn't allow himself to collapse in shock. He bolted out the door, rushing to his car. His hands shook as he turned the key, but his eyes burned with determination. The engine roared, tires screeched against the road. As he sped toward the mill, his mind was flooded with thoughts. He imagined the flames consuming years of sweat and sacrifice. He thought of the workers who had given so much, and fear for their safety twisted his heart. He knew this wasn't just a business setback. It could be a turning point for his whole life. Was this fire the test that fate had set for him? Alex gripped the wheel tightly. His face set, eyes blazing in the glare of the headlights cutting through the dark. Outside, the wind howled, carrying faint traces of smoke. The road to the mill stretched endlessly, but in Alex's heart, there was only one drive left to get there in time to fight, to hold on to everything he had built. As Alex's car sped closer, the sight of the sawmill froze him in place. From a distance, towering red flames lit up the night sky. Thick black smoke rolled upward, the sharp stench of burning wood choking the air and stabbing at his chest. Shouts echoed everywhere, workers yelling, hoses spraying, crackling and exploding like 1,000 sharp arrows ripping through the night. Workers rushed out in panic, their faces twisted with fear. Some tried to run back in, desperate to save the wood and the precious machines, but others held them back. Alex slammed the brakes, jumped out, and sprinted forward, eyes darting through the chaos, searching for familiar faces. "Is anyone still inside?" His voice cracked raw with urgency. One coughing worker shouted back, "2 people, they're still in the back workshop." Alex's chest tightened. Without hesitation, he charged toward the blaze. The heat blasted against him. The tin roof groaned and popped like it was about to collapse. Voices called after him, telling him to stop, but Alex didn't hear them anymore. Every second wasted could cost a life. The smoke stung his eyes. Every breath felt heavy, but his steps never faltered. In his mind flashed Tuna, Henry, and the workers who had stood by him like family for years. He couldn't stand by, couldn't abandon them. Through the fire and smoke, he finally saw 2 staggering figures. "Over here, follow me," he shouted. He rushed in, grabbing one man by the shoulder, gripping the other's wrist tightly. Together, the three of them pushed forward, step by step, fighting through the raging flames, swallowing everything around them. Outside, the crowd erupted when they saw Alex emerge with the two workers. All three collapsed to the ground, coughing, gasping for air. One worker clung to Alex, tears streaming down his face. "Thank you. Without you, we'd be..." Alex stayed silent, his eyes fixed on the inferno, devouring the mill. His life's work, years of sweat and sacrifice, was being consumed before his eyes. But inside, he knew one truth mattered more: lives had been saved. The blaring sirens, the roar of water from fire hoses slowly drowned out the crackle of flames. Around him, workers gathered, still shaken, but with a spark of hope in their eyes. Because in the middle of the firestorm, they had seen a leader willing to risk everything for them. Wiping the sweat from his brow, Alex raised his head toward the burning mill. In his eyes, the flames weren't just destruction. They were a brutal test set by fate. And he knew from this moment on, nothing would ever be the same again. The fire was finally brought under control. A gray haze hung over the smoldering ashes. The once bustling sawmill was now nothing but blackened steel frames, shattered wood, and drifting smoke. Standing in the middle of it all, Alex felt like a deep cut had been carved into his heart. Years of hard work, everything he had built, had turned to ash. Workers sat quietly in small groups, their faces blank with shock, each one worried about tomorrow. Some breathed a sigh of relief for surviving, only to break down in tears as they looked at the ruins of what had once been their shared home. Calloused hands, covered faces, eyes clouded, not just by smoke, but by tears. Alex walked slowly through the wreckage. He bent down and picked up a charred piece of wood. To him, it wasn't just wood. It was trust. It was dreams. It was the sweat of so many people. He drew in a deep breath, then turned back to face everyone. "We've lost so much." His voice was rough, but steady. But the most important thing is that everyone's safe. A mill can be rebuilt. Machines can be replaced. People can't. I promise we'll rise again. We'll start over. His words left many with tears in their eyes. Some workers nodded, and little by little hope began to return to their faces. When the fire was finally under control, Alex drove back to Tuna's farm. The gate swung open, and Tuna ran out to him. She threw her arms around him, her voice shaking. "Are you okay?" "When I heard, I was so scared. I thought I'd lost you." Alex held her tightly, feeling her trembling embrace. He whispered softly, "I'm all right. Everyone's safe. But the mill, it's gone." Tuna lifted her eyes to his, and in them she saw both pain and determination. She gripped his hand firmly. "The mill burned. Then we'll rebuild it. What matters is you're still here. Henry still has his father. I believe as long as we have each other, we'll get through this." Just then, Henry woke up and toddled out, his sleepy eyes blinking at his parents. Alex scooped him up, feeling the warmth of his little body in his arms. In that moment, Alex understood, no matter what he lost, this family was his true strength. Through the window, the morning sun spilled in, lighting up their simple home. After the firestorm, Alex knew he would have to start again from zero. But this time, he wasn't alone. Beside him were Tuna, Henry, and the workers who looked to him as their anchor. And in his heart, a silent vow echoed, the sawmill would rise again stronger than ever.
Vì vậy, đừng quên nhấn đăng ký kênh và bật chuông thông báo để không bỏ lỡ bất kỳ tình tiết quan trọng nào trong câu chuyện này. Liệu Kyle có thể tìm được mẹ con Tuna? Liệu anh có thể vượt qua được tất cả những thử thách mang họ về an toàn? Mọi điều đó sẽ được hé lộ trong những tập phim tiếp theo. Chắc chắn rằng bạn không thể rời mắt khỏi những câu chuyện đầy cảm xúc bất ngờ. Những khoảnh khắc cùng diễn biến mới sẽ tiếp tục không theo dõi vì những bất ngờ vẫn còn đang chờ ở phía trước.